What is up? What is up? So today I will be talking about my split and showing you my split that I have for my workouts every week. This is an old set of clips from over a month ago. So as you can see, my spot in the background being my brother and me using some old setup form. But here we are getting out. I believe this is 275. And you see the pause and the explosion using the leg drive. Try to keep my butt on the bench as much as possible. Working towards driving back towards my eyes. I have a spotter because this is some heavy or decently heavy weight. You see that was pretty good. I think 3 or 4 reps there. We go on to Smith machine incline, which I believe is to be one of the best movements for your upper chest. And I try to include this as much as I can in my workouts. We're trying to set up. I've got my hands locked into place. Trying to straighten out my wrists. I like to go slow, touch my chest and explode up, slow down and explode up. And you see me trying to keep my elbows tucked, really just keeping that same line of path. That's why the Smith machine is so good, because it keeps it in the same spot the whole time. And I believe I end up doing 8 to 10 reps. That's usually what I try to keep my accessories at, anywhere between that range, and usually that's plenty for me. That last rep was pretty good and pretty tough. So now we get to the pec deck. I do my pec deck not as much of a fly motion, but I do more as a push. I try to do like a hybrid. I find that the squeeze at the top and really letting my arms drag back together allows for me to really grow the chest muscles, to really press. And I feel the movement a lot more. So we went through that. Now we're on to, I believe we're starting the shoulder portion. So we're on to some dumbbell shoulder press, which I really like to include for the front delts, which are usually used a lot while benching as well, but I tend to see more growth as I include it in my workout. You see me really working towards driving it up and not driving it behind my ears, keeping it in the same spot the whole time, while also not flaring my elbows as much as I possibly can. As it gets tougher, it is harder. So now we're on slow raise. I try to keep my arms slightly bent. You'll see them straighten out at the bottom, but I try to stay controlled and not swing too much. This one's a little bit tougher because it's not chest support, but you do get the point, and it does work the side delts. So as we get done with that, we're on to our triceps now, and this is our single arm push down, which I really enjoy. And you can see the tricep and that horseshoe kind of peeking out there, and I really work towards keeping my elbow in the same spot and driving down, using my opposite arm to hold myself steady in place. And then we end up switching sides. Of course, me setting up the tripod, making sure that I'm in the right spot. And again, you see me holding with my right arm and pressing down with my left arm. You see they look nearly identical in how I keep my elbow in the same spot and keep the tricep and shoulder aligned with each other. There's my brother once again. Both of us are pretty larger individuals and work out plenty, so we both are, we work out together when he's around. But now I went into some rear delt. I do put it in with my push day, so this is included into this session, and I love using the pec deck for this. You're really taking it slow and pausing slightly at the top, letting my rear delts contract and really just working that area. It's a hard area to work, so using a lot of machines is usually a good idea. And as you see, my brother's finishing up with his rear delts with like a face pull, and I will end up doing the same exact thing. I find to double up on rear delts at the same time is usually easier. And in my gym, they're really close to each other, so I'm not taking up too many machines. But you really see me try to drive my elbows back. I try to slightly hold at the top. I sometimes struggle to get my arms straight in this exercise because I try to load it up as much as possible. It is very important to work on that. So yeah. What is up? It's Wednesday. I decided not to film yesterday. I just took a break off of filming. I think I'm going to do like every other day or something of the content filming. So then you guys will see this by Monday, I think. by, I think it's July, or like the last day of June, maybe first day of July. But legs today, bang, there we go. I think it could be a good day today. I think as long as I warm up correctly and really get into the groove of things, I think I'm gonna try to go for 405 for a couple reps today. Hopefully a double. We'll just see how the body's feeling, but yeah. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a good Tuesday. I hope your guys' middle of your week, you're about halfway through hump day. It's today. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, off we go. So as you could tell from the last video, I did film that section before. And as you can see, I do a single here at about, what is that? I believe that is 375. That was a pretty solid single for that day, for a squat, and you could see that was really good depth. Now we get into the pendulum. Pendulum is one of my favorite movements for legs. I find that it makes you work so hard at the bottom, and it's easy on the downward, but once you get to the bottom and have to drive back up, it's pretty tough. So on the mental mind, it's mental state and just mental game of it all, it's really tough. And I believe this is 315. For a handful of reps, I try to keep between that 8 and 10 range as much as I can. I use my arms up top, so then I keep them out of the movement as much as possible, and it's in line like a regular barbell squat as much as possible. You see me trying to go slower down and really explode back up, and you just try to see as much control and keeping my feet down as possible. This is just a really mental testing and mental inducing exercise, so that's why I take it slow and controlled, try to get to the number of reps. Now we're going to do some, I believe these are going to be barbell RDLs, and I really try to do I do the bent leg RDL, so you're going to see here, I use it as more of a glute to hamstring movement, and yeah, I find it to be really good to have the knee bent. I find less issues, and I go pretty quick through this. It's only a plate, and it's just for me to get that pump, that lower end, and I work towards driving it down and exploding back up. Now we're going to a leg curl. This is the only leg curl we have in our gym. Well, we have another hamstring leg curl machine in our gym. We do not have a seated hamstring curl, so we have to do laying down, which is all right. I do prefer a seated hamstring machine or hamstring curl, but we don't have any. It is a bit awkward for me sometimes, and on these reps it looks awkward. But yeah, now we're on to our back day. And this is our hammer strength machine, or whatever the term you want to use. At this point, I'm doing double, and I'm doing about 3 plates. As I get through the reps, it gets a little bit less and less controlled. I try to stretch it as much as possible, but it is heavy. So now we're down to a lat pull down. And once again, you can see I try to stretch all the way out and pull all the way down past my chin. Any deeper than that, and you're not really working your back at all. So the stretch is more important to really elongate those muscles, the lats, and the whole back itself. So, and I try to drive my elbows towards my hips. Now you're going to see, I'm not too sure, it's like a triangle. It's a bigger triangle than usual. I'm really trying to drive those elbows back. And you could see, especially with this tank top, that you could see my muscles and my traps being brought together to really work those back muscles. And I'm doing a little bit too much swinging here. It is a little bit heavier than I'm used to, but I try to get it and drive my arms back as much as possible. And then let's see, we're gonna switch into a like a straight bar pullover. As I walk over there, I found out when I was doing this day that I hadn't done the straight bar pullover in a long time, and I found out why it's such a good movement. There was a while there I was doing it with a tricep rope cable, but I found that the straight bar, this long straight bar especially, is really good to allowing me to get to the top of my stretch and really bring it down. Now we're into biceps. I like to do, I always forget this freaking machine, but you really see I use the flat side of the machine. And I feel like it just allows for my biceps to really peak, and I pause at the top and let it stretch all the way out till they're straight. And I just find that this is a great exercise for your biceps, and it really allows you to just work really hard. As you can see, I'm yapping it up with one of my friends in the gym, Ryder. He's a content creator also and YouTube creator. Now we're into spider curls, forearm spider curls. And these are like it's like a combination between your normal spider curls, which I've done with an easy bar, but also working the forearms with a, yeah, a straight grip like that. So thank you for watching.